Hello and welcome to another episode of Winning with Shopify podcast. To be your host, Nick Truman. It is Tuesday, which can only mean one thing. It is Tuesday Tea Break Talks. How exciting. We're going to run through some news. We're going to run through a few articles I found, a couple of stats. We're going to have a quivia a bit later. And it's New Year, New Me. If you tuned in last week, you'll know that I am still drinking tea. I've just had a cup of tea, which is a lovely peppermint tea. But I'm drinking more water. I've got a pint of water here, which is delicious. So far, you've tuned into a podcast and Nick has had a sip of water. Anyway, we're going to talk about a number of things on the show. You've probably seen in the title, there's loads coming this year. I did my predictions for the year last week, which I quite exciting, I think. Loads of stuff about AI, AEO, answer engine optimization. How exciting. Marketeers are becoming influencers. AI is improving video. And design has become one of the number one, someone's taste in design has become one of the number one marketing skills for marketing teams. We spoke about some of the things I was grumpy about, some of the things I'm optimistic about this year. There's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. And I want to talk about a few bits and pieces. And we're going to start off with quote or fact of the week, which one of my teams pulled this together, Daisy, who I shout out every week. Daisy's amazing. And I'm going to read this out as well. Daisy's also put there's a box on the pre-show note she puts together for me. And it says, water, New Year's resolution check. She's checking in on me. She's been checking in on the whole team to make sure we're sticking to our New Year's resolutions. Quote and fact of the week. So more than 76% of marketing teams are now using AI in core marketing operations, up from just 29% in 2021. Companies using AI report significantly higher performance and engagement, ROI, and customer retention. And that is from allaboutai.com. I find it fascinating, all this talk about AI. And we're going to talk in a little bit about some of the things AI actually does, because everyone sort of says AI is a big thing and everyone kind of goes, yeah. I'm really interested particularly in how people are using AI. What is the tool, the function, the process, the thing AI is doing that the human now is not? The reason I flagged that is there was a productivity report that I think was released by the UK government back at the beginning of 2025. And it said that people were currently taking longer to get the AI to do the thing they wanted to do than it would have taken them to do the thing that they wanted to do, which I find really interesting. And I'm sure we can all relate a little bit to that. So there's three things coming up this year. Number one is AI-driven personalization and automation. So when we talk about that, there's a lot of buzzwords in this industry and a lot of acronyms. So I just want to break that down quickly. AI obviously isn't, well, it's a buzzword, I think. It's also not a buzzword, it's a specific thing. But the way Shopify stores sell products is really, really changing. And actually, these are 4 ways that you could be using AI on your front-end store. So dynamic product recommendations. Lots of AI tools now, from adding an app that just does that to a whole suite of tools that can do a whole range of things. But when somebody's looking at a product or browsing your site, the products that come up recommended, and also, which we haven't actually got this in our list, but I'm going to add it into this one. A lot of brands we're working with now are seeing a huge success from actually sorting and organizing the products on a collection using AI. So rather than having a default set or it's automatically done A to Z or price high to low, which customers, the chance of them being interested, if you've got 400 products in that collection, the chance of them being interested in the top 3 or 4 products come up is so slim. So using AI based on their behavior or it just testing to certain characteristics of people, the AI can in a split second look at things like their IP address, what pages they've been on the site, whether they're currently logged in or not, and recommend according to all of the data it's got access to. So those product recommendations or product sorting on a collection are super, super beneficial. Personalized storefront layouts and search. So that when we say storefront, normally homepage. So when people are on the homepage, the actual content that appears in the format of content from top to bottom, whether it recommends some products or some buying guides, etc., based on where it thinks people are in that buying journey, using AI for that. And the second part of that was search as well. So when somebody actually goes to search for a product, having AI try and complete the sentence for them. If you say, I want men's quarter, and it says, you obviously want a quarter zip jumper, and then recommending some jumpers and some other bits before anyone's even clicked search. That's how the search functionality on AI can be improved. You can then see how many people are currently using search how many people are using search and purchasing products before you use an AI tool to start doing some of that for you. And then also, now we're using the AI tool, how much has revenue gone up when people are in that specific journey? It's quite trackable and monitorable. I love that. Easy to monitor. Third one out of 4 is predictive segmentation and messaging, which I find quite interesting because we spend a lot of time Certainly in email marketing, a lot of people in email marketing make a lot of assumptions, and assumptions can be based on the data. The data tells you what happened, but it doesn't always tell you why. And AI has the ability to test in real time those segmentations. So AI might say, I've looked at all your data, and 10% of your customers have bought more than twice, and 90% of your customers have not. That, based on all of the different stores I'm connected to as an AI tool, all the different data I can see, that is your number one opportunity right now, is to message the people that have bought more than once and get another order from them, and the people that haven't. And that would take you, a bit of time just to put up the right report. But also the other thing that I find fascinating about AI is, how would you know to look at that in the first place? That's the exciting bit, is it tells you, here are some learnings you might be interested in, because when I've presented these learnings to other people in your situation, other marketeers or store owners, they've made some changes. And so that's quite exciting. And then automated marketing and operations. I think it's how most people are using AI at the moment, is they will use it from an operational point of view to say, if somebody is if somebody submits a return on our website, the AI automatically finds the order number in the back end, updates the order number, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's, again, a way AI can help with that. This was from cleargo.com. So some other insights on the future of Shopify Plus trends for 2025 and 2026. Quite exciting. So personalization really is the big point. The thing I don't like about personalization is, I know a lot of you guys listen and not like a lot of our clients turning over millions every year and growing considerably. Some of you are starting out, you're only getting the odd sale every day or two, or every couple of hours you get a sale here and there. And they're all a bit random because you're starting out. Personalization doesn't really work until you've got enough data to know what to personalize. And that is one of the chicken and egg scenarios. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Gonna have a quick sip of water because I've got a horrible sore throat today. Delicious. I never used to like water, but I changed the glass I'm drinking it out of. Fascinating, isn't it? And suddenly I like it again. How the mind boggles me. Anyway, commerce everywhere is number 2. So we're going to talk about social, conversational, multi-channel. And what we mean by this is where people are trying to buy your products from Shopify, but not just on your store. There's lots of other locations. So wherever people are shopping. So it could be your catalog appearing in AI assistants. So there's a thing that's built into ChatGPT now called merchants. I've mentioned this a few times. So via Shopify, you can feed all of your products into ChatGPT, and people can actually purchase them on ChatGPT as if they were on Shopify. They can do that whole process. And that's an integration readily available for free, done by ChatGPT or OpenAI, who run ChatGPT, and Shopify themselves, is my understanding. Copilot as well for Microsoft. So you can sell products through Copilot without having to do anything. I say without having to do anything, all the normal marketing things and brand awareness and stuff do kick in. AI doesn't just show you because you fed your products. You've still got to convince it you're a good option for that. There are things like social commerce and shoppable video. So on YouTube, you can find products on YouTube, but TikTok Shop, you can shop Shopify products and do a Shopify store order as if you're on a Shopify store, but actually within TikTok itself. The same applies to Facebook and Instagram. They've had stores for a very, very long time. So you can buy products within those stores as if you were on Shopify, which is quite fun. And this is from thefoldtech.com. So it's their Shopify Winter Edition, new innovations, and it's all the emerging shopping channels as a result of AI and lots of other stuff. Some are new, some are not. So again, trying to make sure your store and products are available in all the places that your customers would want to find them can be quite fun. I'm going to put a caveat on this. I was umming and ahhing about this, but I think thinking about it now while I'm reading through my notes and what we're talking about, this to me is one of those lovely but also annoying shiny objects. It's the kind of thing where you sit in there and you've probably got a list of admin to do and some tax returns and some new products to add to site, some customer service emails to respond to, and all this, whatever your job function is, from founder down to one of those kind of more niche and specialist roles. This is the kind of thing where you're like, wow, what other channels could we be on? And suddenly like 2 hours has gone on Google trying to find those other channels. So I would definitely say, like, maybe just carve out a bit of time to do this, like 30 minutes an hour, just to connect up some of those bits. I would definitely recommend Copilot and ChatGPT integrations. I think this is an absolute given. And whatever you're doing on Shopify is just automatically fed across. Really nice and simple. But it's the kind of thing you spend hours and hours and hours getting yourself on every single platform, and then suddenly you still have no sales. And it's like, okay, there's a bigger issue in the business than what channels it's available on. And the third one I want to talk about, which is going to be really, really dry and boring. I'm joking. I'm going to make it fun. But it is about data, first-party data, third-party data, privacy, omni-channel experience. Cookies are changing quite a bit. There's an initiative going through the EU at the moment. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm not a lawyer. I'll be honest, I don't fully understand it. I wait for our lawyer to tell us, or one of our clients to say, this is what we're doing based on the new rules. The UK, the way cookie banners work in the UK has changed, and it changed. So this will be the 6th of January when you're watching this. I'm recording it the day before, but 6th of January, so 6 days ago, the UK law changed on cookies. You don't need to be as strict on cookies as you used to be. And I understand there are some scenarios where we can actually get rid of cookie banners. And I've been saying this for a while, that if we can, we're going to get rid of cookie banners for all of our UK clients. The EU is doing a separate move. It's something slightly different, but it's focusing on the same kind of thing of going, do you know what? We've over-regulated cookies and we've accepted that now. And it's like, as a marketing person who's been in the digital world for years, it's like, it was always a terrible idea. How have you just realized? I think the UK doing it has caused the EU to follow suit. I don't know what the US is going to do, but the US rules are a bit more relaxed anyway. But Shopify stores must rely on owned data and seamless experiences. First-party data data powers smarter retention and segmentation. Integrated channels like email, SMS, mobile, social create consistent journeys. And privacy-first personalization replaces third-party tracking. So this is where you can track based on that customer, because when you can see what's happened when you've sent them an email, when you've sent them an SMS, when they've been using their mobile on your site and they're logged in, when they've been on your social channels or followed you on social, you can see who that user is. So it's almost irrespective of the cookies themselves actually running. There are going to be more changes on this year. I'm trying to make headway of this, and I'm waiting for a lawyer to get back to me on what we can and can't do in the UK following the changes on the 1st of January. Because guess what? The documentation from our government is very, very vague. But it's going to be interesting, because I think cookie banners are a complete waste of time. And I'll be completely open in saying that when we've not had cookie banners on site compared to when we have, we've seen conversion rate be worse where we've got cookie banners. Trying to get a cookie banner to work and tick all the compliance boxes is complicated. And I think it restricts trade, is my gut feel. If somebody's on a website, it should just be a given that because every website in the world will put some sort of cookie on your machine from that website. It should just be a given that if you use the internet, there's going to be cookies. And most sites I've tested, when you click decline, it doesn't actually make any difference. No one's really compliant. No one's really got in trouble for it. And I think it's a complete waste of time. And I shudder to think how much money's been spent on getting the legislation there in the first place, and how much companies have spent trying to abide by every single rule that is there. And it's just a waste of time, waste of money. And then you look, and there's a global downturn economically in almost every single country, or certainly in the Western world. So anyway, rant over. Cookies are fantastic. Cookie banners, complete waste of time. And no one, even the EU, don't understand what they are. And if they want to talk about it on the show, they'd be very welcome to come on and clear things up. Be very happy to have that debate. But anyway, new year, new opportunities. So the last thing from me before we do our Quivia, which is one of my favorite things, and if you've never listened to the show, I came up with it myself, and I say this every single week, which is why I'm talking so quickly. New year, new opportunities. One of my big learnings, I just want to finish on one of my kind of mental dwellings I've had over Christmas. In Q4 2025, lots of brands in the UK and US, which are our main two markets, and also brands across Europe we work with and various other places, they're trying to cut costs on marketing. Now, if I'd been in this industry for nearly 20 years and said it's the first time I've heard people trying to cut costs and I was surprised by it, I'd obviously be lying. Plenty of businesses have tried to cut costs. And as a business owner myself, I do not want to waste money on stuff that I don't need to spend money on. The problem with marketing is, as soon as someone comes up with a calculation that says marketing budgets need to be cut, the problem is rarely that we're spending too much, because whatever you spend on marketing should deliver an ROI. Therefore, my view on this, and this is what I've been dwelling on a bit over Christmas, and how with our clients and some of the pitches that I do and the brands we're going to be approaching to try and pitch to this year, and some of you guys who listen to the podcast, trying to think about how I approach this and what I do about this is, as soon as a business is cutting marketing, either one of two things are broken, and one is the result, obviously, or it's tracking. More often than not, both are a problem. We've had businesses before that have gone, do you know what, we're cutting all marketing budgets by 50%. And then they do. And guess what conversation they have 3 months later? Our revenue's down. I wonder why that is. It's because you cut marketing. What we should have done is said, we're not going to cut our marketing budget. We want to increase it. But to increase it, we need to make more revenue. So actually, we're going to set ourselves out on if you can't prove it's working, we need to change the tracking, change the way we're doing it, or do some sort of test. So we've had clients before say, I'm going to pull Meta advertising down by 50% for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to put it back up unless I've got some data to say otherwise. And what you find is you see that actually over those 2 weeks, things drop and then they come back, or things don't drop at all. And actually then you start to ask the question of, irrespective of all the marketing channels that I've got and all the budgets I spend and the tracking and everything else, Meta is not delivering for me, is it? Because I've turned the budget down. So again, the wrong thing to do is then go, well, let's not spend any money on Meta. The right thing to do is try and find out who actually sees us on Meta and what part of the journey does that actually influence. Because if it influences really top line brand, we should keep that running. So if you're in an organization that's cutting budgets or not approving budgets, I'd try and, if I were you, my advice and what I would do in your position is try and sit down with the finance director as quickly as possible and say, this initiative to lower budgets, like, do you realize what's going to happen next? And is this really a move the business want to make? When there's economic downturns, I think I said this last week or the week before on the show as well, when there's an economic downturn, it forces everyone to become more efficient. And as part of this, some businesses don't do that and they go under. So if you manage to weather the storm and get more efficient and make profit or make more profit through an economic downturn, when half your competitors have disappeared or whatever number of them have gone, what do you think is going to happen to your revenue? It's going to be the last one left and everybody's going to have to come and shop with you. So you're going to see a massive upturn as well. So whenever brands have started lowering budgets, as much as I'm slightly biased, let's be honest, because I don't want the budgets to go down, I want to go up because I make more money as a marketing agency. But actually it's often a warning sign that things are not looking good and long term they're not going to be good. We've had a few clients come back to us that we stopped working with in the last couple of years because they were lowering budgets, we were too expensive, or people trying to barter our agency fee. And it's like, well, actually, if the campaigns are working, we're worth the fee. So pay the fee, make them work, and don't hire the wrong person who's not going to make it work and cost you a lot more in the long run. Let's do Quivia, shall we? I'm a bit ranty this week. I don't know why. I'm in a very good mood. Anyway, this week's Quivia, true or false? Over half of mobile users will leave a website if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. 3 seconds. So true or false? Over half of mobile users will leave a website if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. It'd be a terrible fact if it wasn't true. So yes, it is true. Got a big green tick next to it. It's true. Nearly 40%, get this, of Gen Z say they use TikTok or Instagram instead of Google to search for information because it's faster. How about that? Nearly 40% of Gen Z say they use TikTok or Instagram instead of Google to search for information because it's faster. And just reading between the lines here, it's not because Google itself is slow. It's because they go on Google and when they click on a website to go and dig a bit deeper into whatever they were looking for, it takes ages to load. How interesting. And also, there is so much fake information out there on TikTok and Instagram. So there we go. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. We will be back, I believe, with a guest this week. I haven't checked the diary. This is only my second day back after Christmas. Hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening to. Give us a comment on Spotify. I said that a few weeks ago. Apparently, I've had loads of comments. I haven't looked yet. Sorry, it's been Christmas, a little bit away, but I will go and check those. Hope you can tune in again for our next episode. If you want to come on the show, you want to sponsor the show, send us an email saying hello@winningwithshopify.com. Thanks for tuning in. It's been great having you all.